Y'all, can we talk for a minute? It's a lot going on today. Okay. Y'all know lately I don't really be liking to do like more than 2 videos in a day because I kind of feel like you need to let the ones that you already did marinate. You know what I'm saying? Let them percolate. Let them run wild and free. But it's so much going on, baby. We got to talk about it. So, we got some news on NeNe and Joseline. Now, the Joseline story y'all probably done been following up on because it's been everywhere ever since I woke up this morning. I kind of knew that was what was gonna come later came. But we're gonna talk about it nonetheless. First things first, we got to talk about Miss NeNe Leakes. Now, I was not gonna talk about this because I just literally saw it when I opened up my laptop to get to work. And I said, well, no, wait a minute now. Because the sites, both Hollywood Unlocked, the Neighborhood Talk has posted it. It appeared exclusively first on Hollywood Unlocked. And then the Neighborhood Talk also shared this bit of information that after months of dating, NeNe Leakes and Nyoni have called it quits. Does this mean that lady ain't got no more case for a lawsuit? If the lady was trying to sue her for $100,000 for alienation of affection, because you could do that in North Carolina. What does that mean for that case? Do I got a lawyer on the line? Um, Norman, Norman, can you get legal on the phone and let us know what's going on with that? Okay, look, somebody gonna let us know. Meanwhile, all right, now I was shocked when I saw this because for me, I was like, yo, NeNe was just posting with him, right? Wasn't she just at Portia's, like, doing something with Portia over the weekend? Let me go to Portia's page because I could have swore for Lord that NeNe was still with the man. I could have swore. Hold on. Okay, so yeah, it was just like 6 days ago. So let's head over to Portia page real quick. Real nice and easy. She was just celebrating with Portia. Like, so I'm like, this is such a shock to me. And that's when I thought that NeNe's got a man at home. Well, I mean, I don't know if he's still there. He might be at home, but somebody else's. I don't know. So let's look at it. All right, here it is. So yeah, she says, Miami doesn't owe us a thing. Big sis and little sis reunite and celebrate my love. Thank you to all of our friends who made this weekend special. Also, Shamia Morton and Gerald Not Shown. We love you. NeNe Leakes, I am Simon Guabadia. She didn't tag Nyoni, but NeNe did comment and say, Lil sis, fun times. And it was a surprise birthday trip. And so you can see them both right here. I mean, so like, dang, like what happened? What happened? Very interesting question. Very interesting. But Hollywood Unlocked does go on to point out NeNe was constantly, well, not really constantly, but NeNe had been posting a lot about narcissists. Now, I didn't really do any stories on it because I was like, NeNe can be kind of cryptic to me. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I'd be like, well, girl, can you just spit out who you talking about? Or like give us the tea. Cause you giving us the tea bag, but we ain't got no water to put the tea in. So NeNe says narcissists do not have the ability to self-reflect, blah, blah, blah. You can see it right there. All this stuff about narcissists to being the devil. But daddy, y'all looking so good together. Oh, well. I mean, what do you do? What do you do? I feel like Wendy Williams right now, like, oh, well. I mean, we wish them the best of luck. Side note, let's get into the real tea about NeNe that I really wanted to talk to you about anyway, was this right here. Okay. We talked about NeNe being erased. Okay. When you say it, you got to say it like that. Erased. NeNe was erased from last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. So in my mind, I had thought based on some of the things we had talked about and we had heard in the earlier video, I was like, well, maybe it's, some type of legalities that were involved in this situation. But then when you go a step further, you see NeNe Leakes has definitely caught on to what's been happening. And she's like, okay, thank you, Tweety Pies, for all of your DMs and comments. I see everything you are sending to me. It's really just a shame people can do these things and get away with it. If only you really knew. If only you knew. Ain't that a song title? If only you knew. So, because I'm sure that we will never get the details about that, I do kind of want to point to you guys some of the things that people had to say about what happened last night because people were really, really incensed. And I'm going to share with you from the Bravo Shade Room some of this information. So they reposted something that TVD says erasing NeNe from the flashback on tonight's episode was petty and unnecessary. This is clearly a complicated legal situation, but the constant shade towards someone so crucial to the franchise's success isn't a good look. Now, this goes into something that I was thinking about earlier. I was like, when I go back and I watch the replay of that moment, and what they did was the editors took a creative liberty here because they used the season 3 and 4 intro in conjunction with the current intro, and the way they did it, they said previously on Real Housewives of Atlanta, and it was some static, and then it morphed into that. Now, while I do appreciate a creative edit because I feel like, people are working, all right? People are trying to make things happen. I do feel like you have to ask yourself, is this creative liberty worth is it worth it in the long run? Because what one would think is the omission of NeNe Leakes is probably going to not play out very well in the public eye. Okay. Public perception of that act is going to seem like a purposefully shady act because technically you didn't have to post that. You didn't have to use that image. You could have done something different because now the unfortunate thing is people are not talking about the creative elements that went into that intro. We're all talking about the fact that NeNe wasn't in it and how it seems shady. And then we're also talking about NeNe's reaction to the shade. So you have to ask yourself when you make these creative decisions, is this going to be worth it? And you even see here, NeNe Leakes posted under the Bravo Shade Room's post, she says, wow. Okay. So, clearly she didn't know. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it was a purposeful omission, but for a creative decision that was probably based on legalities, but did you need to do it? That's the question. And so when making these types of decisions from a production standpoint, I would probably want to err on the side of caution versus controversy, because in this instance, what we want people to be talking about is Kandi and Marlo and their timeline and the case that they were building in the episode. But now all we're talking about is NeNe, someone that is no longer on the franchise, someone who I would assume Bravo / NBC Universal would want no parts of any dealings with. So why even utilize what is obviously theirs? I mean, it is theirs to use. Let me say that. Because once that likeness has been photoed and videoed, they can use it in perpetuity. Okay. But again, unless there's some legalities involved, but is it worth it? No. At the end of the day, it's definitely not worth it. And people were definitely, they had a lot to say. You guys can see the Mighty Morphin, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers edit here. All right. As it plays on a GIF. And someone says, let me say this, Greg. NeNe didn't just put Real Housewives of Atlanta on the map. She put Real Housewives and Bravo on the map. They owe her everything. Trying to erase her legacy is petty and kind of solidifies her allegations of bullying. And again, this is the reason why I would feel like you may not want to do this, because I just don't think that it will be worth it. Ain't worth it. Okay? Ain't worth it. Speaking of things that ain't worth it, Joseline Hernandez. Let's talk about it. All right? Let's talk about it. Now, this lady here, Big Lex, is she on yes. Lex was once featured on Joseline's reality show, Joseline's Cabaret. Okay? Let's start there. In case you were unfamiliar with this lady, that probably means that you don't watch enough Zeus. I myself do not have a subscription to Zeus. I respect what Zeus does. And so, I don't typically comment on, especially because I feel like they have a market to themselves. Okay. Let me just say that. Now, if you woke up this morning like me, the first thing that you will see is a video of Joseline at the Floyd Mayweather fight, where Joseline was also a headlining performer along with Christiane, and is that her name? Christiane and Blueface. Do you follow them and their shenanigans? If you do, then this is for you. Okay. We're talking about Joseline mostly because, again, she's on reality TV. She was on most recently, not to discount her Joseline's Cabaret, but most recently on the College Hill edition, celebrity edition of College Hill, where she also got into it with Amber Rose. But less on that right now. Back to Big Lex and the beatdown that was just horrible, horrifying. It was a huge, like, first of all, there was a whole big confrontation in the ring. Number one, when the crowd bum rushed the ring during the fight. Then I don't know. It's one of those situations where, as I stated earlier to you guys, when the energy is going up, it's about to go down. So what you need to do is you need to stop that energy before it reaches the peak where everything just descends into chaos, right? So because it also seems to me like there are various people there who seem very uninterested in really breaking this thing up the way that it could have been broken up. If you saw the melee that ensued betwixt Joseline and this young woman, actually betwixt Joseline and a whole bunch of other people, because Joseline was tagging anybody within arm's reach. Okay, if you tried to stop her, she was tagging you. Okay, and that's the young lady. Listen, Joseline told a young lady up until she was topless. I mean, it was just like, what is happening here? What is going on? And the folks is the folks is videoing it, and clearly the young lady, Miss Lex, definitely not to be confused with Lex Luthor, but Big Lex, and she ain't get the best of Joseline. It don't look like, because she, like I said, even after that whole situation, Joseline is just running after folks. She tagged somebody, the girl threw a drink at her, Joseline chased her down, somebody else tagged the girl. I have no idea what caused this. When I look up when I actually look up, like, what happened, like what led to this, because I'm unfamiliar with this with the show Joseline's Cabaret, and really the goings on with that whole operation. I just kind of feel like I don't really know what to say about it. But here you see, I think that's Joseline's man. I think he's kind of like in the girl's face, asking her what the heck is going on or something like that. And I just think that following, the situation with Amber Rose, which was not televised, which we could not even see, that, Joseline, it's clear that, despite her performing recently and talking about performing sober for like the first time, clearly there's still some issues within that need to be worked out with regards to like anger and rage. And now, I'm not a therapist or nothing like that, but when you look at the video, I will place the links down in the description down below in case you want to see it. it just looked to me like she was possessed or something, or something took over her body. And at the end of the day, she was arrested. Okay. And I had no doubt in my mind that she would be. All right. Because the police did get wind of the incident. She was arrested early today on at 4 charges, including trespassing and battery. And, um, you know, she got a new mugshot. So there you have it, y'all. I told y'all it was a lot to cover, and I really wanted to have like a nice little fireside chat with y'all tonight about what was going on in the streets, okay, and give you a little bit of my perspective on it. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. I don't know. I mean, either this is going to propel Joseline to new heights, because for some reason stuff like this tends to do that, but it just feels like that Love and Hip Hop reunion with her and Stevie J getting at it with all them people all over again, because the videos of this incident are all over the net. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. Listen, y'all, if y'all have not picked up my new book, The Wickedest Wives Desiree's Desire, on Amazon.com or Audible, please be sure to do so. Leave us a review. Let us know what you think about the book. Let us know who you like, who you don't like, what storylines you kind of feel like are popping, and what you want to see more of in book 2, as I'm completing that right now. Yeah, link in the description, so you can just click right on it, or you can visit thewickedestwives.com and you can go there and it'll lead you right back to Amazon. So with that being said, I will catch you all in the next video.